Hello there, Gavin and Joanna here. Welcome to the Sunday School and Nursery video. It's great that you can join us. We didn't have this last week because we had an all ages service, but it's great that you can join us today. Quick reminder, last week Jesus was speaking to a crowd. They'd seen him heal a man. They had all sorts of questions. Some of them thought some things, some of them thought others, but we're following on from that today. And Jesus is going to have a meal with a Pharisee. And we're going to read the passage first and then explore what it means. So Joanna, can you read that for us?
Okay, yes I can. We're going to read from Luke chapter 11, verse 37. Now don't worry if there's lots in this passage that you're like, what is he talking about? Because we're going to help explain that in a little while. Let's listen up for the way Jesus talks to the guys that he is hanging out with, okay? While Jesus was speaking, a Pharisee asked him to dine with him. So he went in and reclined at the table. The Pharisee was astonished to see that he did not first wash before dinner. And the Lord said to him, "Now, you Pharisees cleanse the outside of the cup and of the dish, but inside you are full of greed and wickedness. You fools! Did not he who made the outside make the inside also? But give as alms those things that are within, and behold, everything is clean for you. But woe to you, Pharisees, for you tithe mint and rue and every herb, and neglect justice and the love of God. These you ought to have done, without neglecting the others. Woe to you, Pharisees! For you love the best seat in the synagogues and greetings in the marketplaces. Woe to you! For you are like unmarked graves, and people walk over them without knowing it. One of the lawyers answered him, "Teacher, in saying these things, you insult us also." And he said, "Woe to you, lawyers, also! For you load people with burdens hard to bear, and you yourselves do not touch the burdens with one of your fingers. Woe to you, for you build the tombs of the prophets whom your fathers killed. So you are witnesses, and you consent to the deeds of your fathers, for they killed them, and you build their tombs. Therefore also the wisdom of God said, I will send them prophets and apostles, some of whom they will kill and persecute, so that the blood of all the prophets shed from the fountain of the world may be charged against this generation, from the blood of Abel to the blood of Zechariah, who perished between the altar and the sanctuary. Yes, I tell you, it will be required of this generation. Woe to you, lawyers, for you have taken away the key of knowledge. You did not enter yourselves, and you hindered those who were entering." As he went away from there, the scribes and the Pharisees began to press him hard and to provoke him to speak about many things, lying in wait for him to catch him in something he might say.
Whoosh! A little bit confusing, but we are going to explore 3 different bits of that story. We hope that you can help us out and think really carefully as we go through. So here we go, into thing number 1. Oh wow, that was amazing playing rugby. It's great, I love it. It's fantastic. I'm just going to go inside now. What? Joanna? Hi Joanna, I had a lovely time playing rugby. It was great.
No. I don't think so. Look at the mess of you. You can't come in like that. I've just mopped the floors. Off you go. Go get yourself cleaned up.
Okay, I got it. Okay, I've got some clean clothes. Right, I know what to do. Pop them there. Right. Get the hose. Right, what bits can be seen? My face, my hands. There we go. Right, brilliant. If I get these on, no one will see the rest. It'll be fine. Right, that can go on. Brilliant, that's it, cover it up, we'll just do that. And then, alright, get rid of these. Oh, a bit smelly. A bit hard to get off. And then, if I just put these on, and then I can go back and I'll be all clean. Right, here I go, back in the house. Back in the house. See, told you, Joanna, super clean, ready to go.
So, what do you think, guys? Do you think I let Gavin in the house, still muddy like that? Well, was he clean? Had he cleaned up? He kind of looked like he'd made some sort of effort, didn't he? He had tried to cover up the mud that was all over him, but was he actually clean? Not at all. So it didn't actually really matter, even if he showed up in his fancy kilt or a smart tuxedo looking like James Bond, he would have still been dirty underneath. And that was the important thing. He smelt bad and he was filthy. And we see that actually he couldn't really be bothered. So did he care too much about what I thought? Did he love me enough to sort himself out and actually clean up? It didn't look like it. And actually in our story that we've looked at, Jesus talks to the Pharisees and tells them that that's their problem, that they were so busy caring about what everybody else thought about them, worried about how they looked to other people. It was more important to them to look like they were doing the right thing, to look like they loved God, the same way that Gavin got his clothes clean, but God could see what was going on in their heart. They had never asked God to change their heart and their minds to love him more, and that their actions showed that. They just were trying to impress everyone around them with keeping the rules, and that was enough for them. And Jesus was explaining that that's not what it's about, that it mattered what was going on inside them. And inside them, even though outside looked fantastic and respectable and impressive, inside them, they were still dirty. They were still in a bad place with God. They had still not got the relationship sorted out. They didn't love God with all their heart, with all their soul and mind, like he asks us to do. So, you and I, often, we can care too much about what other people think about us. We look about, we try and be like the people around us, or perhaps we call ourselves Christians, and on a Sunday we come to church and we say the right thing, and it looks like, yes, we're doing the right thing. But what's our hearts like inside? So I want you to remember to think about, are you right with God? Not by all the things that you do and trying to impress other people, but by what's going on inside of you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, 10! That's important. That has to go there. 10.
What are you doing? You've got all these spices and...
I'm trying to count. 1, 2, 3. Right, listen, I'm just trying to count this out. It's very important. I've got to get my bits ready because God's asked me to give him 10% of all the things I have. So it's very important that I sort this out. I've got my socks to sort out, so that I need to have 9 and then he needs to have the 10th. And then I've got my spices and I've still got to do my mustard seeds and all the rest. It's very important because otherwise people will think I'm not doing it right. Everybody needs to see that I'm doing it right because that is the most important thing. And now you're coming and interrupting me. So I've got to sort out my books. I've got one, two, now, what, do I give him a book or do I count a page and then give him a page? And you've interrupted me, for goodness sake. I'm trying to do this, very important. I'm doing this for God, okay? And it's very important that everybody sees that I'm doing the right thing, and you just come along and interrupted me, and I haven't got time for you, right? So off you go, because you're just in my way.
Sorry.
Seriously, oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, I've got Joanna to calm down there. I was getting a bit hectic there for a minute, and wow, she didn't give me any patience, did she? But in the passage it said, woe to the Pharisees, they were ones that liked to keep the rules. It said they were giving God things, but it said they neglected or they didn't have justice and love of God. They were missing the point. God does want us to give things to him, it's important. But not just because, the rules say I need to do it, and do it like that. That's not what God wants. God wants us to love him. He doesn't just want us to change our behaviour to make people think that we do the right things or we love God. He wants our heart to change, that we actually love him. And because we love him, we do these things. And it says, you should have done these things, but you should also have shown love in it. And so that's a big challenge for us. Do we just do things to make it look like we love God? Or do we really love him? And that is why we do it.
Right, Bob, how you doing? So, we've been reading all about Jesus and all the fantastic things he said and did. And one of the things he told us to do was love God and love others. So, I'm going to help you to do that, okay?
That is brilliant, Lucy, because I really do want to do that. I want to love God and I want to love the people round about me. So if you can help me, that will be brilliant.
I'll help you. I'll make sure you don't do it wrong. It's very important that you don't do it wrong. So, the way I'm going to help you is I'm going to get you to sit on this chair and not to move a muscle.
Alright, I'll sit down. I can do sitting down, but I'm just wondering, Lucy, I'll not really do anything wrong here, but I'm not sure that I can do much right.
It really is very important that you do as I say and do all this stuff and not to worry about anything else. You just need to sit still and not do anything.
Oh, okay. Maybe I could give people a wee phone and help them out like that.
Well, you'll not reach the phone from there, so you just have to sit.
Wow, what was going on with Bob and Lucy there? Bob just wanted to do what Jesus said.
So we see that Lucy decided it's much more important that you don't do anything wrong, Bob, and you have to sit still. And Bob didn't understand. Why did he have to sit still? Why did he have to have this extra rule? Lucy was so concerned with getting it right that she added on all this extra stuff that he had to do. Sit still. How could he go and do what he'd been asked to do when he was sitting there? It wasn't the most important thing. She was giving him rules that didn't have to be there.
It's like in the passage that we read. It said, woe to the lawyers because they load people with burdens. It meant they kept on adding on more and more and more rules that were meant to help the people not break the first rules. And then they had more rules and there was just more rules to break and they got breaking rules and whose rules were they breaking and were they breaking the rules or... You see what I mean? It was just really confusing and really hard. But at the end of the day, following Jesus is not about a bunch of rules. It's about loving him and following him and having a relationship with him. And that is what they didn't get. So for us, we need to not think about, to follow Jesus, we need to do this at 1 o'clock, and we need to do this at 2 o'clock, and we need to do this at 3 o'clock. No, we love Jesus. And because we love Jesus, then we do all sorts of things that he wants us to do. Not just to tick him off a list, but we do them because we love him. So we've learned 3 different things today. We saw me getting muddy and filthy, and then we just tried to cover it up. Not get rid of the dirt, but just cover it up so that we looked okay. And that wasn't right. We wanted to ensure that actually we were clean. Not just of mud, but our hearts are clean, that we love God. We saw Joanna counting all sorts of stuff.
Got to get my spices right. Got to get the right number.
But actually, again, it wasn't about that. It was about loving God and then giving Him what He's due. And there we've seen all these extra rules that we don't need because we're called to love Jesus and to follow Him. And then in doing that, we will do all sorts of good things. So, what about you? And what about me? Do we just try and look nice? Try and look like we're keeping the rules? Try and look like we're followers of Jesus? Or do we ask God to change our hearts, to change what we're like on the inside, that we can love Him, that we love Jesus, and that affects what we do and say, not just our list of rules? Have a chat about that in your family, and we'll hope to catch up with you soon. See ya.
Bye.